Chapter 10. Finding the Words. Jake was perplexed. He would never have expected that Alocha would have given him her address. On top of that, the fact that Alocha would drive him here came as a surplus surprise. But what he would never have fathomed is that he would find her barely covered at the door, with shower steam evaporating from her back as if her wings grew after shampooing, asking him to come in, or at least considering it. "I guess you wouldn't like to explain how you found my door in the first place," she said. He replied by barely smiling. The look he gave her was considering her as a masterpiece of nature. Meanwhile, she was so ashamed that she didn't know what to say. Jake continued.
If it's fine for you, let me give you a slight proposal. Right now, you have two outs to this possible issue. You could smack the door so hard that you would dissipate me from your existence, or you could let me in while I'm closing my eyes.
Even within the 3 seconds that split her from a bad decision, she couldn't hold back from contemplating the absurd humor contained in this entire happening. There was a slight but intriguing movement that started to exponentially show her upper and lower teeth until reaching an earth-shattering yakking. It was so divinely stupid, all of this. She knows that now. But back then, she forsook his second-mentioned option, and she smacked the door so hard that an hour later she could still feel the wood barking in her hollow heart. Maybe because there was nothing to fill it, except her pride. A few broken mirrors later.
Jazz dances on the background of the room. Glasses started to be heavy to lift. But the alcohol lights up the mind when the natural shade takes over the horizon. There he sits again. Last man standing. Like a war hero, he stinks. His cheek is kept above the table by a sleeping arm. The other palm is glued to a glass of whiskey. At first named on the rocks, but the ice was melted by time, and the empty seas were once more enlarged. Like a sailor, our guy finds himself looking for a harbour to sleep, or maybe a dream to keep. His eyes were staring into a close and blurry distance. The wooden table is a far continent, and the door of the bar is completely other galaxy. The continent stretching in front of him exhibited traces of habits. Every single iteration of the glass touching his lips, preceded by turning glass 3 times round. The consequent circles on the table sheet make the surface look like a drawing of a sunflower by a 4-year-old. Each person has their tale. This guy's story is written on this 50 by 50 inch squared surface in the language of the wordless. His lips, meanwhile, have taken the optimal form of a recipient. Every wave of this ebbless flow eroded the slow curve of his mouth into a seeming smile. Drank so much that his lips dried up. His face a prairie where the river has evaporated hand in hand with the reason to hold on. He doesn't feel it. He doesn't sense it coming. He doesn't even care when his palm slips from his chin. The neck muscles have been turned off long ago, and now his forehead is a hammer falling towards an invisible nail. An iron fell shattering on the floor. Outside, I swore. I was trying to cast a spell on the bar's slippery door handle, still thinking I shouldn't enter. This was the movie scene where the heroine normally slows down time to evade the bad karma chasing her again. Neither karma nor time manipulation in this drama, but the raindrops pierced me like the tears of a hungry child. Finally, the door decided to open and save me from the downfall outside, just long enough for me to enter. With my back against the wood, it felt like I finally found my shield against a painful happening. But this seemed to be a recurring event. Long ago, his forehead hammered into an invisible nail. The end of the LP was reached. The chronic sound of the needle trying to find an end to an unfinished song filled the space between four walls. This moment made the swirling liquid in the room, still in the grasp of the man that has reached his end, into a song by dreamlessness. But before this man could crash into a bigger wall than the wall he just created, I grabbed him. I did search everywhere in his neighbourhood and mine before I found him drinking his own grave in the bar where I sang in a past life. He was hurt and lost in the pain that my person, here present, inflicted. I wanted to be his Lorelei in an inverted world. Maybe my voice would make his blood find back its normal consistency from thick to solemn. Me, I take pills to sleep, but they only work without sheep. I take pills for the feels, depressed, but only during vacation deals. Some to run, but only if emotions grow, to sing better for those who blow. I also have those for high heels. Nowadays, people take pills to die or even to suppress the stump, taking pills to be less fat, less dumb, less tired, less crump. Pills of colours, pills of forms and taste of living in normal norms. Sick of those oval substances controlling my daily instances. But if a piece of your heart, fantasy, lust or love could be contained in one pill like a hasty dove, would I get addicted? Every single hour of any possible day I would be inflicted. Swallow those pills like candy without ills. Can I stay by your side until they found those thrills? Where trivial reality chills and you and I grow gills for tomorrow drowns between the hills. Our wanting and our wills will preserve seals. Let's be the future for those with no wheels. Let's ride till roads become rivers, meanders of shivers, tandems of whispers, where your art becomes combustion for my heart.
End of chapter 10.